Hey guys, I hope that you guys are doing amazing wherever you are in the world. My name is Shikha and I welcome you to my channel. I welcome you to all my videos. I hope that you guys enjoy them. I hope that you learn from them. I hope that you guys, if you have any comments or feedbacks, will message me either privately on all my social media networks or comment below. Yeah? In this video, I want to speak to you guys about how a lot of you guys message me saying, that you're very lonely and you think that being an INFJ kind of makes it the case that, you're lonely because you're an INFJ, because you're different, because you're quirky, you're weird, because you have a hard time finding friends, because you're an introvert, whatever it might be. And that's the reason you're lonely. And I actually started thinking about it recently because I work in a place where a lot of people come to heal themselves. I work in a place where people come by themselves, lonely, lost, alone, no clue what they're doing with their lives, no clue why they're here. And they come and they expect or they think just because other people have told them that they found the answers here or they found themselves here, that they will find themselves here as well. And so they sit there and they wait for it to happen to them. They wait for it to come to them, the answers, their revelations. And they wait a day, wait 2 days, nothing happens, and then they start getting frustrated and start lashing out at everyone around. Especially a lot of times it's me because I'm sitting there and I'm there listening to them, and they're like, I was told that this was the answer. I was told that if I came here I would get the answer, but I didn't, and I'm still lonely, and I still am not in a relationship. I'm still single, still no one loves me, still that that answer that I'm seeking of what I should do with my life is not here yet. So what the hell? I mean, I spent hundreds of dollars to get here and I don't have the answer yet, right? I'm still lonely. And I think to myself, as I'm sitting there listening to them spewing their stuff over me, of course, obviously I'm an INFJ, so that happens. We're born counselors or made counselors, and I'm sitting there not saying anything, but this random stranger who just dropped out of nowhere suddenly is telling me all their life secrets about the fact that they're a nymphomaniac or the fact that they've never loved or they've never orgasmed, things like that. I'm thinking to myself, what the hell is going on here? Why are you telling me all this stuff? Of course, I would never share it with anyone else, but I'm thinking to myself, what's going on here? But not only that, I realize the more I speak to these people, the more people speak to me or tell me their stories, tell me about their loneliness, is that it's not just an INFJ thing, guys. Loneliness, I've realized the more I speak to people, is an epidemic. It's not an epidemic, perhaps, in the way that we think of it because of technology or things like that. I think it's a human trait. And I'm going to kind of go into philosophy or spirituality a little bit, so forgive me for that. But in my opinion, I think no matter who you're with, no matter how you're surrounded, no matter how many people are around you, no matter how many friends you have, no matter how many kids you have, no matter how many relationships you've been in, how many partners you have, no matter all that shit, all that useless stuff, no matter what happens like that, I think it is a human thing. How do I call it? It's a thing for human beings to be lonely because no one can peek into your heart and see what's going on with you. No one can peek into your mind and see all of your thoughts. No one can see into your soul and tell you, oh, this is what's going on with you, or this is who you are. There's no way for anyone else to do that. So if an individual is always seeking to be not lonely by going outside of themselves, they're always going to end up being lonely because there's no one on this planet, no matter who you are, no matter who you're searching for, no matter how you find someone, no matter if they're your soulmates, there's no one on this planet who can come to you and say, I know you as you know yourself, or better than you know yourself, right? Even as an INFJ, we don't know people as well as we think we know them, right? Even as an intuitive being, you know people, but you don't know them as well as they might know themselves, right? And so as soon as you kind of realize that fact that you're always going to be lonely as long as you're searching for someone outside of yourself to complete you, as long as you're always looking outside yourself for that person, that perfect person that's going to be that puzzle piece to you, or you're always searching for outside for that friend that's going to be there for you forever and ever and ever. As long as you do that, you're always going to be lonely. There is no ifs, ands, and buts about it. There's nothing to say about it because that's the way it is. No one is going to be there for you as you can be for yourself. But obviously, there is this one person that can always be there for you, that can always see you as you are, that knows you more than anyone else that on this planet, that can always solace you or calm you down or make you feel better. And that's you. That's you yourself, for yourself, right? that's what I always tell these people is like, you cannot find the answers. And you've been told this before, and I know I'm probably preaching to the choir right now, but you guys know this. There's no way for you to find the answer that you're looking for outside of yourself, no matter what the question might be. You might be looking for what should I be doing with my life? Don't go looking outside by buying stuff, or don't go look for the answer in Netflix. Don't go look for the answer in another person. It's not there. It's over here, somewhere inside of you, somewhere in your spirit, somewhere in your soul, somewhere deep within you. Same thing with loneliness, I think. And that's exactly what I've been kind of preaching for myself and for the people around me, is that you're not going to be, if you're going to look outside of yourself to fulfill that loneliness or to get rid of that loneliness, you're always going to be lonely. But as soon as you realize that you yourself can always be there for yourself, and you're the only real person that's always going to be there for you, no one else. Your kids might leave you. You might have hundreds of kids or grandkids, and then all of a sudden they all leave you, and then you're left by yourself, and you think to yourself, but I had kids so that I'd never be lonely. What the hell? Or, you have a partner and you give them everything and you're really there for them, you love them and you take care of them, and then they leave you and you think to yourself, but I gave you everything, and how can you leave me? I thought you'd be here with me forever, right? So things like that. I mean, I can give you 100 more examples, but that is what we think. I mean, same thing with pets. We're like, oh, I'm going to love my pet forever, and they're never going to leave me. Of course they will, sooner rather than later sometimes. And then you think to yourself, but all of my effort, all that I was never supposed to be lonely, because I had put all my effort into this one person, this one pet, this one animal, this one thing, and now it's gone. Now I'm lonely again, and I thought I'd never be, right? All gives you the answer, always tells you the same thing, is that go back to yourself. You yourself can be there for yourself all the time. No matter what happens, you yourself cannot abandon yourself, right? You're always going to be there for yourself. You're always going to be here for yourself. You're always going to be able to listen to yourself. You're always going to be able to figure out the answers for yourself. You're always going to be able to go deep within and figure out, what am I supposed to be doing with my life? What am I supposed to do with the time I'm here to do, that I'm here? What people am I supposed to hang out with? All that stuff. All the answers are always like here, always back here, right? And so, yes, you can go travel across the world to this beautiful paradise and be like, okay, I'm going to find all the answers here. Yay, I'm so lucky. I spent hundreds of dollars. But it should be worth it, because I'm going to get all the answers here, nothing to worry about. And all of a sudden you realize you're still alone. You still have no idea what you're doing with your life. And you're still in the same spot where you were back home. Nothing has changed, because you carry yourself with you everywhere you go, obviously, right? You guys know this already. So loneliness is not an INFJ thing. When people say that to me in messages or in comments, and I think to myself, you're just blaming being an INFJ for something that is not really an INFJ thing. Yes, it's harder for us to make friends. Yes, that is absolutely the case. Yes, it's harder for other people to understand us because we're so weird. Yes, I totally get that. But I still manage, being the quirky INFJ that I am, I still manage to have many friends, right? Many good friends that are there for me all the time. And why? And I'm sure you have friends as well that you're like, even though I'm so quirky, I have this one friend that's always there for me. How does it happen? It's because it's not an INFJ thing. You can't just blame being an INFJ and say, oh, that's the problem. That's the reason I'm alone. That's the reason I'm not doing the things I want to do with my life. That's the reason I haven't lived my life the way I wanted to live it. It's very easy to blame things, right? And I've done a video on this previously. Like, people blame their parents, their childhoods, for a lot of the different things that they're doing. I really want us to stop doing that. And I know it might be a very harsh lesson to learn. I know I was very harsh for me, because I wanted to blame my parents. It was so easy to blame my parents. It's their fault. Or I wanted to blame my siblings, or I wanted to blame my teachers. But all of that was just useless stuff, right? Because as soon as I realized it's not them, it's really just all me. It's our fault. Whatever is happening in the world, it can be. You can become a more social person. You can try. Or you can find people who don't expect you to be social. You can find people like I have found, where they're fine with me messaging them once every 6 months, and they still love me, and they're still there for me, and they are still my friends, and things like that. So there's always a solution, and the solution's always find going back within yourself. Don't go travel across the world. And I sit there with these people, and they've left everything. They left their homes. They left everything that comforts them, and they're here in the jungle with nothing comforting them. And they're thinking to themselves, they made a huge mistake. And I always tell them, just relax, just slow down, just be here by yourself. Look at the ocean, notice the waves, and use that in order to find yourself again. But mostly all the answers are not going to be in sanctuary. It's not going to be here in the jungle. The answers are not here in the ground here. They're within yourself. You can't just come to a random place and be like, okay, here I am, give me all the answers. It's like searching for gurus. Gurus don't have the answers. All they're going to tell you to do is go look for the answer within yourself, because you have the answer. The only person who has the answer for you is you, right? The only person that has the answer for me is me, right? And that's how it goes. Again, I know this probably is not the answer you guys want, but I really want to share this with you guys because I really get annoyed by the fact that you guys blame being an INFJ for everything. It can be hard being an INFJ sometimes. Yes, absolutely. I totally get it. But it's not the reason for all of the problems that are befalling you, okay? That's not the only reason. There are other things that you can do as well. So don't do that, right? Don't blame being an INFJ. That's just another thing for us to blame then. You're just blaming being an INFJ for all your problems where you just don't want to take responsibility back. You don't want to be like, well, maybe I could do something about it. Because if you blame being an INFJ, then that's it. You have nothing to do. You can't do anything to change your life, right? It's okay. Let me just give up and just live my life as it is. But if you say, okay, it's my responsibility, then you can actually do something about it. And that's when the rubber hits the road or something. That's how they say it, I think. That's when we can actually change ourselves. That's when it gets hard. That's when we're like, oh, shit, I actually have to do the work now, right? So I hope this makes sense to you guys. I hope I've been able to explain myself to you guys. Again, if you guys have any questions at all, if you have any personal questions, you can always message me anytime on email or on Facebook, wherever you guys want. All my contact information is in the description below. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye for now.